Is good, everybody out there? Thanks again for checking in with Core Thoughts, the channel where we basically talk basketball. On a recent video that I released around Facundo Campazzo, I received so much interaction with it. And first and foremost, thank you everyone who jumped on there, commenting, liking, following, doing all the stuff that I would love to see you do, right? But the thing that I really liked was seeing a lot of different opinions about Facu, whether it was in a positive sense or a negative sense. On that video, it was actually based around a response. I got a response from a viewer from a previous video and they made a suggestion for me to check something out. So I did that. This video is exactly the same. I said it before, you guys jump in the comments, you comment at me, whether we have differing opinions or not, whatever the case, I'll get back at you. Now, this video here that we are going to be checking out, right? It's actually on a player that I'm not very familiar with. I actually did a little bit of research on him just to get my head around it, but I haven't actually seen any highlight videos of him. I'm not familiar with how his game is at all. So I figure that this is going to be a very pure and raw reaction. Now the video, first and foremost, shout out to Marcelo Anido and Rident, who both commented on the request to see a reaction and a detailed analysis, which you gotta make sure that you stick around to the end of the video for, on Leandro Bolmaro. The video itself, it's from a brand new channel to us. It's from Isaac Wardle. As always, guys, please make sure you jump over there, you give him a like and subscribe, and listen, let's get into the reaction. Let's check out the video. Okay, guys, let's check out Isaac Wardle's video. Let's do it. Okay, drifting out into space. I like that. I like the curl cut. Dribbling the ball, nice. Little bit of a hitch in the shot, but if it goes in, it goes in, right? Aggressive drive. Good scoop finish. I love the very well-roundedness of his game so far. Oh, hey, that footwork, that's exactly what it needs to be. Oh, catch and shoot. Bang, bang. Yay, needed to get that up with the time. Yay. It's got a trigger. Definitely got a trigger. I love that running into the catch. Woo! Woo! Oh, bro. Got him! Drifting into space in that corner, which is the release point. I've said this before. That's deep. That is deep. Again, dropping into the dribble, or running into the dribble, I should say. Oh, good recovery into space as well, with the side step. Hey! Bang! So this is his time playing in Barcelona. Yay! Oh my god, oh my god! That turn escape dribble? Damn. Beautiful switch hand. Pull back, recovery dribble. Love it. Just take a moment to look at how much faster this game is. Bang! Yay. Yay! Good turn finish. Love it. A good way to recognize the space and stop on a dime at the elbow. Good switch hand. Love it, love it. Little hezzy step. He seems to be playing a little bit faster in these highlights, which I like, Yay, get out of here, bro. Okay, guys, it's now time to get into the detailed analysis. All right, buckle up. First thing that I want to comment to is the catch and shoot. Most of those clips at the beginning of the video was him being effective and efficient off of catch and shoot scenarios. I really liked the fact that when you can see guys that are effective catch and shoot players, there's a couple of things that they are very, very well versed in, okay? There's things that they're very, very efficient in. The first thing is spacing, all right? Well, spacing recognition. You need to, as a shooter, be confident and comfortable in recognizing how much space you need to be able to pull the trigger on a shot. And you can see that his actual transition into his shot, it doesn't actually excel out too far away from his body. It doesn't protrude out too far from his body. It's actually pretty tight, which I like. His actual shooting movement, I thought that there was a slight hitch, but it might have just been the actual shot itself that he was taking. But you can notice that he's reading the space very well. He's reading how much space he has between the defender, but also what space he needs to get into. I actually commented to in the video him getting into the deep left corner as the baseline recovery position. A lot of the time as a guard, when you're driving in and getting into the key and you're looking to try and release the ball, the defense is crowding you. And sometimes what you can do is you can get underneath the big or you can get lower than the big, and the only real good passing options that are there most of the time is going to be along the baseline. And the reason for that is because if there's a defender that's sort of shadowing behind you, let's just say that they're on my right hand side. If they're just here on my hip, you have to think about how much space that they're covering. So any sort of pass across my body like this is going into a danger zone. So you need to be really smart with the placement of your passes. And I really liked the fact that he's sitting in that corner and he's not standing still. I commented to this in the Russell Westbrook video that ball movement and player movement is so it has to be so efficient in order for a team to be effective. And you as a player, if you stand still, you're not helping anyone. You're not helping yourself to get opportunities. You're not helping your teammates in being able to give them an easier time to release the ball to you and for them to be able to get the ball back. So you got to get into space. I really like that he got into the deep corner. The other thing that I want to comment to about the spacing aspect of catch and shoot is when you notice that he's getting into that space, he's prepared to take the shot. If there's anything that I will preach over and over and over again, it's be prepared at all times, irrespective of if your teammate is looking at you, you need to be prepared to catch the ball. If you are getting the ball, you need to be ready to take that shot. You need to be able to catch the ball and go straight into your shot. I emphasize this aspect of being prepared and getting into your shot, being ready to shoot in the Kelsey Plum video. So if you want to know more information about that, please go ahead and check out the video. I find that people being prepared to catch and shoot or being prepared to receive the ball is actually a fairly common problem that people don't recognize how big of an issue it is. It actually slows the play down. And so if you can move the ball and you can have this movement, like I mentioned earlier before, it just makes the defensive positions move. Like it makes the defenders move. It makes more opportunities and space for you. And so then, you know, if you're sitting in the deep corner like Leandro was, it just makes it easier to sort of get into that space and shoot. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is movement. Movement on the catch, specifically when he was running in to receive the ball. The big thing that you could see that he was doing was he was catching the ball and extending and pushing the ball out. I'm a big advocate for this. The reason is that if I run into the ball, my momentum is continuing forward. If I have the capacity to take up that space and be aggressive, it does two things. The big one that it does is if there's a defender that's in a recovery position, let's say again that they're on my hip, if I just put the ball down, they're close enough to the ball to potentially to just disrupt that, but just make it harder for me to be effective on my next dribble off of that first drop dribble. So in pushing the ball out, I create more space, which means that if he's on my hip as a defender, if I drop the ball here, it's closer to him. If I push it out, it's further away. The next thing that does is it creates a threat for the big. Now, you could see that he actually was pushing the ball out. A couple of times he got into like an elbow situation or a 45 situation, and he's able to just jump straight into his shot. He's clearly a very good shooter in his movement and his fluidity. You can see that he's a natural shooter. I don't know if he was playing very much so as a shooter with his days at Barcelona, but you can see that fluidity and movement, it's very key, at least to me, in my detailed analysis, that this man knows what he's doing when he's pulling the trigger on a shot. If the bigs jump out at you, what that does is it gives you the opportunity to use things like head fakes, like drop hezzies, gives you the opportunity to just use passes, like dump passes to the big. Just again, makes the ball movement really crisp and effective. Taking up that space, you want defenders to react. You want defenders to move. And the way that you do that is you need to play aggressive and you need to be in control. And if you just sit stagnant and you don't move, if you're not a threat, then I'm not going to treat you like a threat defensively. But if you're constantly moving, I'm constantly chasing. I'm reacting to you as a defender. Just makes my job so much harder. So much harder. That's getting into space off of the catch. There was a couple of clips, specifically with his time at Barcelona, that you could see that he was dribbling and recovering out into space. Again, in the Russell Westbrook video, I talk about the retreat dribble, but one of the things that he did that was, it was so deceptive, was he actually just turned his back and went out into his dribble into space, and the defender just sort of relaxes for a moment. And what that does is if they're relaxing, I can literally turn. I might turn straight into my shot. I might turn into a hezzy, make the defender close out and drive past him. And so I want to keep the defender guessing. Don't let them know your next move. That getting out into space off of the dribble was really good. And I don't think that a lot of people, they get it. I think a lot of people, they get into their dribble, the defender's crowd, and the first thing that they do is either A, they get rid of the ball, or B, they don't recognize what the options are, and they maybe jack up shots or try to be really aggressive with the drive. And again, goes into my first point, they don't read the space. If I can create more space, space means time, which means I can then figure out how I'm gonna break you down. Defender, you're gonna come in and crowd me. I'll retreat, I get a little bit more space. Maybe that means the big comes in, back screens, and now we get into a pick and roll action and it's barbecue chicken time. Or it's gonna just give me more space to recognize, oh, you don't think I'm a shooting threat. Okay, catch this, right? So it's just a smarter way to play. Just be patient. Like you need to be patient. You need to be calm. If you play flustered, it doesn't help you. I've seen guys who, when they play, they get really easily flustered. Maybe they don't take shots that they should. Maybe they pass the ball without really looking where it's going or what they're doing or what the defense is doing, and it doesn't help you. Pull out into space, get comfortable, read and recognize what's happening, and then generate off of that. The last thing that I'm going to comment to is just the overall well-roundedness of his game. If you noticed, he was a driving threat in those highlights with Barcelona. He was also a shooting threat in a lot of those earlier clips with him playing in the NBA. And so having that well-roundedness, it feeds into something that I've mentioned before about the Book of 5 Rings. I'm not going to harp on it, but you don't just want to have one tool. You kind of want to think of it like counters. So if I'm an effective shooter, if I'm just a shooter, the defenders are going to treat me like just a shooter. But if I can also create off of the dribble and drive, what that then does is it creates opportunities. And again, if you've been following your boy, if you've been keeping up with me and what I've been doing on this channel for as long as I have, I've mentioned time and time again, basketball is all about opportunities and how you maximize them. When you see that he has that effectiveness to shoot, the defenders are going to close out. If they close out, then you're going to beat them off the dribble. Okay, now they don't know what to do. They close out hard, you beat them off the dribble. They sag off of you, you shoot it in his face. So it's this win-win. And then we haven't, that's just on the scoring aspect. We haven't even focused on what you can do with the pass from that. If I then go into a shot and then the defenders start to crowd, I can pass, give and go back, receive, get the ball for an easy finish. Maybe they sag off of me and then I hit a dump pass to a big. The big can go and be effective. Now I'm effective on the court in more way than one. And if I am effective in more way than one, what do you think is going to happen? I'm staying on the court more. I'm not sitting on the bench. The coach needs me on the court. So if you are looking to try and understand how you can get more minutes, I mentioned this last year in my season as a coach. You've got to be aggressive in realizing how you can steal your minutes. You don't have to go out there and drop 22 points, okay? You don't even have to go out there and try and drop 40 points, because the reality is that that's not going to be consistent. You might be a scoring, effective scorer, but most of the players that you see out there, all right, that are getting heavy minutes, it's because of the fact that they're effective in more ways than one, all right? So maybe they're a really good postal scorer, but they're very, very good defensively in denying shots, in deflecting shots, in scaring the offensive players, in being able to get an open shot. Or maybe you're an effective on-board defensive hound. You're up in their grill, just closing them out, playing really hard-nosed defensive basketball. You don't have to be just a scorer. Maybe you can be like a Jose Alvarado type, where you get out there, you take your scoring opportunities when they're there, but you're primarily this little sticky finger thief coming in, bang, stealing the ball whenever you can. So recognize what your game is and recognize what you can do to be an effective player, and just make it really well-rounded. It's a very simple thing that I don't think people pay a lot of attention to. What's your skills and what's your opportunities? But look, guys, first and foremost, got a couple shout outs that I have to give. Marcelo Anido and Rident, thank you so much for your comments on the video to Facundo Campazzo. Again, if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and give it a watch. I really did have a lot of fun making it, and I had a lot of fun responding to everyone that was commenting to the video, and even differing opinions. The other thing is, I want to give a big shout out to Isaac Wardle. The video couldn't have taken place if I didn't have his video to react to, so thank you so much for that. Again, guys, please make sure you jump over there, you give him a like and subscribe. Also, give your boy a like and subscribe. Listen, I'm currently pushing to hit my mountaintop of 10K subs, all right? I need you to get out there and like and subscribe and share and do all that good stuff, okay? And if you want to get your name mentioned in a video, right, and you want me to maybe react to a player that you like, jump in the comments and let me know, right? Get in contact with your boy. How else can you get in contact with your boy? Check out my socials. Facebook is a really good one, especially with the messenger function. You can just message me, drop me a line, or even if you're a player, do you want me to react to your video? Send it to me. I'll react to it. I'll give you my detailed analysis. I'll give you points that I see. But look, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for kicking it with your boy. And until I see you next time, make sure you're looking after yourself. You take care and be safe. All right. Peace.